do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like 4 notifications. I think we need to chillax on the invites.
No, we need more people to watch.
Yes, more.
Not us
No,
4
we don't
times.
But we don't need 4 instances of it happening.
We're here. We don't. Okay.
Speaking of more people watching, I believe we are on the air. So guess what? Episode 2 of
Hey,
Game
what up, guys?
Sandwich coming at you, which really is episode 1 since last time we didn't have a name.
It was a
And
beta.
now we have a name,
Yeah.
which is Game Sammich. Thanks to
Darren.
Darren Landrum, who ridiculously entered like 40,000 name ideas and didn't
totally
even want the Steam
min-maxed
key for the game.
He
So,
did
Min-max the whole
Yeah.
thing. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm
he
just
did.
going to put in
Quite a bit.
25 things. Yeah.
seriously,
Good work.
my list was Darren Landrum, everyone else.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you,
hilarious.
Darren.
Thank you,
So
Darren.
thanks, Darren. And
Yay,
we didn't even want the
Darren.
Steam key, so we still have it to give away.
You're really
Which I guess
generous,
we'll
man.
do for the next contest, which is getting our logo.
Yes.
So if you want to design up a logo, go for that, and maybe have a guest spot on the podcast next week or the week after, or however we decide to do it. I don't know. It's not like we're
We make shit
organized.
up as we go.
And if you want the Steam key to Don't Starve, then that can be yours too, because it's an awesome game, and we still have it to give away. So we might as well give it to
Sweet.
someone who wants it.
Valuable prizes.
And I gotta say, the bar is set pretty high already from what I've seen.
We do
from
have one.
the
do
sort
have
of
one
pre-entries that have come in. So yeah, if you're gonna do it, make it awesome.
We started up a community on Google Plus, so there is a category where you guys can post your submissions, and then we'll go over them all.
Yes.
So
Excellent.
vote early and vote often, like Darren, and you might win.
Right.
Yeah.
300, please.
Yeah, just submit as many as you want. Sure. Yeah.
Just keep drawing.
It's not like artists need the money or anything. Just work
No,
for free. Just send us all your stuff.
Well, it's for
all good.
games. It's not for free. And
It's true. It is for a game. So
Who knows if it's
technically,
good enough? We
There's
might-
technically
no
that
tax
is
implication.
some kind of
There's
a reward.
Yeah, it's
Tax
Yeah,
implication.
it will not bump you up to the next tax bracket. No matter what you do, you're all good.
who knows
careful
if
with
it,
contest.
if it.
So what do we got in this episode? This episode, we're going to be, talking about some new Steam stuff that got greenlighted, which has some really awesome games, and Lex is going to talk about one in particular that apparently is going to be awesome. So that's good. We got, what else we got? We got Rift stuff to talk about. We got Star Wars, the New Republic, the Old Republic to talk about.
Some
New
Republic.
old, whatever.
some Republic stuff. Who
the
cares? It's the Republic.
or something.
It's Star Wars, so we're going to talk about that. Some Walking Dead stuff. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I don't know. Who wants to start? Let's start with the Valve stuff just to kick things off. Lex, what's going on?
Do we need to introduce ourselves or what?
Oh, well, I mean, if you really want people to know who you are, I guess you can
Since some of them might
yourselves.
listen and not watch, I'm Lex Larson, and one of the green light games on Steam, which should be hitting Steam, I believe, next week. According to the chat I got from American McGee, the creator. Who knew he'd hang out in the beta channel? It's called Akinero Demon Hunters, and the idea behind this is that American McGee, who you might have known from Alice, Madness Returns, Alice, and way back to like Quake and ID Software, he has his studio, Spicy Horse, is located in China, in Shanghai, and they are releasing this game as free-to-play with some microtransaction, other sorts of things. It's designed around Japanese folklore, which deals a lot with spooky things like demons. And so it's an adventure role-playing game, so you get one of 3 classes. You get to run around sort of like Diablo or Torchlight. You zoom around, kind of a set of maps and go attack things. Well, it's currently in beta on the spicyworld.com website. There's like a web version. There's a downloadable version at angry-red.com. And then they also are going to be having the Steam version. So that should be coming out, I think they said next week. So They're madly releasing content all the time. They have community mods, and American McGee and the devs all show up in the chat on the web version, so that's kind of the extra bonus of hanging out on the web version. Yeah, so it's like we've gotten some stuff. They also have a Kickstarter project. Now, they made the game, they're going to release the game. It's already done, but the Kickstarter project is designed around building multiplayer or new content or extra features or new buffs or something like that. So the whole thing is designed as an extra bonus pack, and the rewards are really cool. So you get in-game stuff, you can get prints, you can get signed posters by the dev team. So that's out on Kickstarter under Akinero Demon Hunter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. That sounds fun.
And I've been playing it, and it's a ton of fun. So
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, the only other game that I'm really super psyched about from the Greenlight, the new Greenlight list, I guess, would be DLC Quest, because it is awesome, and the expansion looks hilarious. It's basically like a parody on the fact that like 95% of the games these days come out, and then like a month later, the DLC packs start to come. So when you start the game, you literally can't turn left. You can't jump.
What?
You have to like gain DLC packs to do everything.
awesome.
It's
So
pretty-
you're earning them?
exactly. You basically you're earning coins and then using those coins
That's
to buy
funny.
the DLC packs that you want, like
Nice.
sound.
like a complete game.
and-
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
sound.
it's the
Sound.
entire thing. Animations. So at first you're just sliding around, like there's no animation enough. It's
All right,
it's
that sounds like
pretty.
fun.
We're gonna have
it's
to try
pretty
that.
awesome.
Definitely gonna have to play that.
But there's also the Leisure Suit Larry game that's coming out. That could be fun. I don't know. The last couple have been kind of weird, but
Yeah, I
Leisure
didn't
Suit
know they
Larry.
were
So
still
it,
around.
if you're into that kind of thing, that could be fun. But there's a whole bunch. There's Asylum. I don't even know what that is. Ador, Masters of the Broken World. La Mulana. I don't even know how to say it. Mac or MAK. I don't know what any of these things are, but some of the trailers look pretty interesting. So
Yeah, I wonder if
Who
Age
knows?
of Decadence, one of those ones, is just like, here's pre-revolutionary France. Like,
I don't know.
like,
Yeah,
what
I
would
don't
that be
Could
about?
be.
Super exciting.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
but I mean Valve Greenlight is all about games that already typically have kind of a fan base, and they're just getting on Steam. So I mean they're usually pretty decent games, so far anyway, that have hit Greenlight. So they should be pretty cool.
Nice.
And what's next? Oh, let's talk about this ridiculous Apple thing, where Apple's terms of service for their App Store basically tells you if you want to talk about sex or religion or basically anything, even at all controversial, to write a book or a song and not to make a game, basically. And they're just rejecting games that have to do with anything at all with sex or sexism or religion or anything that might sort of stem a discussion other than, let's kill things or let's get points or whatever.
Right.
So
And
they let you release an app that you could punch a baby. Remember, before they took it off the App Store, you could get this app, and you
Oh,
shake your
yeah.
phone and shake the baby.
That's
like,
right.
That got
That's
through.
bad. That's
Violence is not controversial.
No,
Violence
That
is
really
cool.
got
Violence.
through. That's not a social problem, I guess. Well, and it's interesting because one of the things I was going to also mention was talking about Games for Change, which is the nonprofit that releases a bunch of games that do tackle social issues and do talk about things like Guess My Race, where you are shown pictures of people and you have to try to guess what race they are, just to show like how wrong you are usually most of the time. There's another one that's Sweatshop, where you are the owner of a sweatshop and you have to decide
That's
like
awful.
to give a drinking fountain to your
horrible.
workers or let them die of dehydration.
Oh,
So
Lovely.
and it's interesting because like one of my friends was like, oh, I really loved playing this coyote game or whatever it was, because he's like, a coyote being one of the people who helped smuggle immigrants into the country, usually from South America or Mexico. And they're awful people who frequently abuse and murder the people they're supposed to do. They extort money from their families. He's like, yeah, every time there's a baby, everybody in the game goes, baby! And I'm like, you're a smuggler. You're a human trafficker in this game. Yeah, so at any rate, yeah, the people who were part of the Grand Gallery at the Museum of Natural History There's like a Margaret Mead Film Festival, Margaret Mead being a prominent anthropologist. And so in New York, they were doing this exhibit, and Games for Change was giving these games. And, a lot of people made a lot of comments about, hey, yeah, this, notion of race is really ridiculous because look how wrong we are when we try to guess this in a game. Or so it doesn't seem to make sense to me that you wouldn't do something like release a game that might have a cause behind it. It's like they don't always have to be frivolous, and you do learn things from media. So,
Well,
yeah.
I think it's the Apple just trying not to be controversial. They just, they don't want games that might spark a conversation. Like you said, the game that was in question apparently was a Syria-based game, Endgame Syria, where you basically took the role of Syrians in their struggle, and they didn't want that. That was too much, so they decided to scrape that one out of the App Store. But it is on Google Play if you would like to go play it.
Yes.
And it might be somewhere else too. So apparently Apple's alone in their quest to make sure that there's lots of good religious books out there on their book
It's just
store.
a weird line in the sand to draw. Like,
Yeah.
if you write a song or have a movie or write a
Right,
book
that's
or
cool.
something, no worries. App Store it up. But a game or an actual app, don't submit it because we're not going to allow it. It's just a weird.
Yeah, they're all
It's a
forms
strange
of creative
distinction.
media. I don't understand. They're all art forms, right? I mean,
It's just very
why single out the apps?
Well, you single out the apps because everybody says video games cause gun violence, right? Like,
I
wouldn't
think
that be the most
that
recent thing
stems
we've heard?
into Brad's other topic, I think. Just
Sure, yeah, let's
perfectly.
just tax violent video games, right? That'll solve all of the problems of the world.
Right.
And
I
I
don't-
think it'll the budget would definitely that would help
Sure,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Of course, the article's on Forbes, right? So we need to take that with a grain of salt. That Forbes is always going to try to find some sort of capitalist solution to every social problem,
Yeah.
right? So,
True.
so consider that for a moment. That they think it's like cigarettes, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't think that video games have the same public health impact that cigarettes
No.
do, but we also regulate cigarettes. So,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
does it stop at video games? Will they tax movies? Are you gonna have to pay extra when you go watch a rated R flick or buy a mature book? So if it
It starts rubbing up against some very interesting sort of freedom of speech issues. Like,
Mhm.
we're going to tax the expression of some, art forms.
Well, it's
It's
just a
very-
kind of a gateway to start taxing other ridiculous things too. So,
Yeah.
and while I tend to fall on the side of video games don't really cause violence, there is certainly something that the video game industry and creators and gamers could do to help kind of shape this conversation instead of just letting the conversation happen and say, oh, it's unrelated. That was kind of what we did in the 90s, right? As we said, oh, there's no connection. People can read books or they can watch movies, and they don't all choose to become mass killers. So let's just talk about that, like why, gamers, I think, can come to the fore and say, look, yes, like some of these things, are escapist expressions, and some of these things, are glorifying violence. What causes some people to do it and not others? Like, let's have that conversation and talk about where games can fit in the process of resolving it.
Right, for sure.
some city beta.
SimCity beta. And sign up
SimCity's
now
back.
because the sign-ups end tomorrow.
I am so
20th.
pissed. I have been trying to sign up for that stupid beta for like 3 days now. It bugs out. You guys have that problem when you signed up?
I did
I
a
haven't
couple
tried
days
it.
ago
I'm gonna try right now.
when I tried, but I got through yesterday. So
pretty sure it hates Chrome.
I'm signed up anyway. I mean, who knows if I'll get it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, simcity.com/beta is the thing, I believe.
I have high hopes.
So go there now, quick, before it ends.
Stay up all night trying to apply for it again.
Suddenly, everyone,
Yes,
Sorry.
please
I know,
go
I'm
now.
like,
Clack.
go right. Stop what you're doing. SimCity's gonna have a beta.
Cancel the podcast. I got shit to
Don't get in
play.
Aaron's way. What else
So
we
what else
got?
is going on? Let's talk about Rift. Ern, what's going on with Rift?
Rift just recently released a patch that lets you voluntarily invite your friends that are on different shards. This previous to this patch, you did what we call a Russian roulette invite, where people on the other server would queue for a random dungeon at the same time that you did, and then you would either get them or you wouldn't. And if you didn't get them, you did it again until you got them. So it was really quite a pain in the butt because we do have quite a bit of friends on other servers, and you can't always play on the same server. So that was kind of a cool thing that they did for us. And then they also laid the smackdown on some botters, which was pretty nice because it was becoming a problem. So that's pretty much it on the Rift news right now. They're constantly pumping out new content and stuff like that all the time. So if anybody's looking to try it, they do have a free version of their game that lets you play till level 20, I think it is. It's called Rift Lite. It's on their website. It's the game. Been my baby for a couple of years. It's always been my go-to. It is kind of your traditional quest kill X amount of things from the beginning, but once you get to the level cap is when all the magic happens. So it's true though. It's true, and anybody that plays will tell you the exact same thing. It's just it's your average MMO until you get to the later levels, and then it really starts getting fun. And there's a plethora of specs you can play or classes and stuff like that. So. And then the only other thing that I had is I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with the Final Fantasy 14 remake, re-release, whatever you want to call it. The beta starts very, very soon, and they have an app up on their website that you can apply for it, and that's it. Beta app's up. Go.
Go get it.
Cool.
So that's an app to get into the beta.
Yes, and there
Okay.
is.
Okay.
You can just do like a simple app where it just kind of asks your email and some really really simple questions. But then there's a survey. If you scroll down a little bit, you can do a survey and an app, and then it asks you like your specs of your computer. You have a better shot of getting in because then they know what they're dealing with when they invite you. They want people that have crappy computers. They want people that have great computers. You know what I mean? So I highly suggest you do the survey thing that asks you about you. The end.
Sweet. Sweet.
I think I signed up for it, and I was just like, oh my god, click all the things, and I just and I probably didn't do the survey.
It's
but
kind
yeah,
of like it's just like a little mini interview. It asks you about the specs on your PC and like what games you've played and what betas you've been in and what's your goal about playing a beta. I just want to look at the pretty stuff.
To
You're
have
kind of-
fun.
I'm a former QA tester. Yeah.
I want to be first.
I just love signing NDAs. That's why.
Exactly. I just like filling out these forms.
I like being able to do things and not talk about them.
It's the best ever. While we're talking about MMOs, we might as well deal with all the Old Republic stuff. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I play my regular MMO, like Ern's got Rift, I've got Star Wars The Old Republic. So I have played myself out of so many fantasy MMOs. I was looking forward to something with a sci-fi bent. So I've been playing since the retail launch, and I was actually in the last closed beta and then the last open beta before they launched. So I've been playing for a while. I've moved from server to server to server as they kind of consolidated. Now I've got kind of a good group of people, and we go 3 nights a week and pew all the things. So now what they're doing is they released when they did the free to play option, because they just didn't get the uptake that they were looking for. They introduced a microtransaction cartel market. So now you can go. If you're a free-to-play person, unlock various things that you get as a subscriber automatically. You can go buy outfits and all of pets and, even emotes. So there's like an emote that'll let you do a backflip and things like that. So, which is hilarious on my husband's character because he's this big round dude. And seeing him do the backflip, we're like, go fat ass. So,
Nice.
So now what they're talking about is their next release, which they've only said is coming out soon. So we're not really sure when it's going to happen, but we're thinking sometime in the month of January. Is they're going to release a new world event, which is something that they've done twice before, and a new reputation system. So we're sort of on the fence on the reputation system because all of us are former WoW players and we know what it's like to grind the reps, and we're like, oh man, do we really need to do that? Because I'm sure there's going to be some like fantastic speeder or something that you can only get, and I'm just like, this is going to be the Winter Saber mount, experience from WoW, trying to do this all over again. So we're not sure if we're excited about that. We are always looking forward to new zones, new events, things like that. So the events that they do are time bound. So as you do a daily quest, you do a round of 5, then 5 more open up. So the next day you can do the first 5 and the second 5, and then it builds and builds and builds from there. So that's kind of a nice way to do it, so you don't have to always do the same grind every day. It's a little bit different every day, and it eventually unlocks some piece of story that you didn't know about before about the world. So I think overall, like, I still like the writing, and I will always like BioWare games for that. So we'll see what happens in the 1.7 patch update.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played Old Republic, but I really should give it a look again now that it's free to play, so it's not actually going to like cost me anything to dig back in a little bit. Good times. Good times. Kevin, you wanted to talk about the portable Ouya, or I mean the NVIDIA Shield.
You don't even know what you're saying. God.
Kevin wants to talk about some things.
I do.
Mute him really quick.
I'm super excited. Yes, please mute me now. I'm super excited because they kind of blend in together. The Steambox was revealed at CES 2013, and so was the Shield Android handheld gaming system. What's cool about the Steambox, all the details are still pretty blurry. They don't know about the hardware. There might be different OEMs making it. Valve themselves are going to make their own box, and I've seen some of the demo videos. Please, you can Google them. They're impressive, this Steambox. They're going to have all their Linux games ported onto just a tiny, it's going to be a PC, but we're going to have that content delivery system of Steam available to us, and it's going to hurt the console market, I think. If it's powerful enough and can play enough games. They're also talking about biometric controllers because they're sick of the impreciseness of joysticks. So they're thinking about making some sort of proprietary biometric feedback controller. That's all they said in a Verge
Can you
interview.
plug it into your head?
I don't know if that's what they're going
controller.
for.
Coming in 2016.
The input lag on that thing would be crazy.
It would be brilliant.
Right, it would. So, they've been frustrated with the console market, and I think they're going to bust in there, and we're going to see heavy competition between the Xbox.
Are you plugging a USB into your
I am plugging a USB into my temple.
That's not going to work yet.
Excellent.
It's
Come
still
on.
in beta.
Yeah.
It's still in
You
beta.
got to fill
Just don't
out
push
the
too
form
hard.
for that one.
Maybe it has to go behind your ear so people won't
There
be
you
like,
go.
gross, we need to kill the mutant.
Yeah, a little more subtle, yeah.
Yeah, because that wouldn't be weird.
Be like, oh yeah, let me get this thing out of
Perfectly
my plug.
Yeah, where would it plug in, right? Just the back of the head matrix kind of jack.
The thing
to
was a
your
huge
seat.
spike, though. That's the.
Yeah, it'd be
that's
worth
harsh.
it though. I mean, wouldn't it? I'd do it in a heartbeat. The NVIDIA gaming system will have, not only will it be Android based, but they're gonna port Steam to it and have their big picture mode be compatible with it, so it'll have wireless capability to televisions via, I think, either wireless HDMI, or you may have to have another PC with an NVIDIA card, connected to a TV to be able to project it on there. But the videos on that are amazing. Apparently, it outclasses even the current Xbox right now in terms of raw power, and it's this big. It's a phone basically with a controller. So that's going to be neat because you're going to have your Google Play market for all your casual gamers, and then you're going to have your Steam games, your Team Fortress 2, and your Left 4 Dead, and just all those guys in your pocket I suppose. How cool is that? So those two are Steam's. Just Valve is pushing hard to make themselves come into your living room instead of just your computer. Um, and then, the last item I have on my list was, the Walking Dead video game. If you don't have it yet, get it because it's amazing. And the guys, now Brad, Telltale made Monkey Island, right? I believe too. They did all the Monkey Island ones.
They made the more recent ones, yeah.
Okay. And they've done some of the Monkey Islands. I think they really broke through with this Walking Dead, but they want to expand on that, and they've been talking to magazines about doing either like a Halo or a Half-Life, which I'm super excited about, or a Star Wars game based on that. So they want to expand into deeper franchises than just The Walking Dead. And I think they do good in any one of those, considering the writing done on these things. They're like theatrical masterpieces. They're better than most movies out there. And you get to kind of play along, So it's the zombies are great. That's a great family game. Like you can literally have the whole family watching me play the game. And we're all
Zombies are a great family game.
They are. They are. The whole
Yeah.
family,
Brings the whole
especially the
family
toddler.
together.
The toddler
All the
screaming, "Why is he
horrible
dead,
murders
Daddy?
and
Why is he
cannibalism
dead?"
and
Eyeball falling
everything.
out.
Great.
So you put $1 in the therapy jar every time you went there.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. I have health insurance. That's what.
A
That's
couple of
for.
jars.
Yeah. No. It's fine. She'll be okay. She just cries at night a little bit. Um,
Except for the
She'll be-
nightmares, she's great.
So
the night tremors are
They're
whatever.
subsiding.
They'll pass.
They'll pass. But yes,
We're
get
out of
get
them.
get that game, please. It's on my sheet. I keep looking at it. You guys all need to play it like
It is-
now.
they're very good. Telltale has
very
actually been really good lately about expanding kind of already known franchises. Like they somewhat recently did the Back to the Future games and stuff. That's really
Right, yeah.
good.
And Jurassic Park, I think. too.
Jurassic Park, not
that
so
Telltale?
great.
Not
It
the
was,
red, okay.
but
I
it
haven't
wasn't
played
so
it.
great, unfortunately. But outside of that, I would say that that's more the exception. They've been pretty good for the
And
most
they're-
part, like reviving the Monkey Island stuff, and they
Mhm.
were pretty good at that.
They're
And
fun
the
games.
Sam and Max. I mean,
Mhm.
they've done a lot of good stuff over the last few years.
Yeah, they're fun
So
and
it'll be
easy
interesting to
games.
see. Yeah.
Very, very like it's almost like it's a casual game. So, your spouse that may not like gaming would get into it. I mean, my wife was playing it. She got all freaked out and dropped the controller when the zombies were trying to eat her brains. I don't understand why, but yeah, it's definitely a game that like I said, your 4-year-old will love forever
Sure, yeah.
and never get out of their head for as long as they live.
Real.
Yeah, I totally recommend it. I hope CPS isn't watching.
You
this
should
right
write a
now.
parenting manual.
I should.
Awesome.
I should.
Raised by video games.
That is all I have, I think. That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving.
You're done. You've quit now.
I quit.
He's
I
gonna be like,
quit.
mic drop, I'm out of here.
Done.
That's a
Sheesh.
wrap.
There he goes.
Oh yeah, you better pick that up.
I need that. Shit.
Oh yeah. All right. No. Crap. I need that. Shit, shit,
Hey
shit.
Brad, should we talk about Kentucky Route Zero?
Yes, we should because that's awesome, and I want the next part. And
This
it's
sounds
awesome.
like a ridiculous game.
Yeah,
What
I
is
was just
that?
thinking the same thing.
It sounds so rednecky. I
Okay.
don't even know where to start.
Okay, so you guys have probably played something like a Limbo or
Yes.
some other kind of. All right, so visually it has a look like that, where it's a very simplified, almost like papercraft cutout kind of look to the animation. There's very simplistic movement and things like that, but it is a mystery story above all things. So as you drive around, as you talk to people, as you figure out what the hell you're doing, pieces of story start coming together. And they've released it in, so it's kind of indie game style where you download the first act and then you can play through that, and then you can purchase additional acts as they come out, or you can purchase them all at once up front for, wasn't it like $25 or something like that?
Something like that. Very similar to what Telltale is doing these days with the episodic
Right.
deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you drive around. So there's like a map kind of thing. You can drive around and you start talking to other characters. You start figuring out things. You find spooky shit as you run around, and you just have the option to do lots of different things and sort of start to figure out what's happening. So I like it because this method of storytelling in the story lets you build up your own story as you go. So you kind of have this idea of, well, here's what I think the story is, and we'll find out what it really is when you get through the rest of the
Choose
game
your own
pieces.
adventure.
It's sort of like that.
Is there a hell level?
No. I found, I don't know, is this a spoiler? I found a church that freaked me out. So yeah, like just driving around, there's a church, and I'm like, oh, what's in there? And then I was like, yeah. So yeah.
It's very good. It leans very much towards like interactive fiction, almost more than like adventure. Like there's not a lot of puzzles and things. You just kind of have to work your way through the story, and it lets you kind of find your own way, which is pretty cool. But it's very sort of easy to get into, which is very nice. And I can't wait for more.
But it does have that kind of spooky Southern noir, kind of thing to it. So it's a mystery story, and it's spooky, and it's a little disorienting because you don't exactly know what you're trying to accomplish at first, and the story emerges, and what you're supposed to do emerges as you poke around.
Sold.
Sold.
And the first episode's cheap. It's like $5, I thought, for the first episode.
Something like that, like. Yeah, 5 or 8 or something. It's
something
not.
Like
it's
that,
not much. Do it. It's worth it.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Stop yelling at me.
More typing.
Aaron, tell us about Dragon Nest.
Yes, do that.
Okay, so there's this really super sweet little. How would you explain the motif of this game, you guys? It's called Dragon Nest. It is a free to play on Steam. And
I don't know.
It's Korean.
Yes, it's very Asian.
Very Korean.
So it's
There's
Asian.
the description. It's Korean.
Yeah.
And so it's cute.
You get to play like little kids. And what did you call it, Lex? A prostitute?
Prostitute. Yeah.
It was.
You know how it is with Asian imagery of women, right?
Yes.
Like they usually look extremely young, but they're also sexy. And so there was the sorceress character is very much like way underage, sexy kind of
13-year-old slut.
Santa suit slut chick too.
I seriously was like, sweet, I got a gear upgrade, and then I looked and it was like plunged down to here, and I'm like, whoa, okay, lots going on there.
So yeah, there was a whole slew of us playing that as of late, and it's a really cute game. It's kind of funny. All of the NPCs are stuck-up bitches, and like some of the they pretty much hate you. They are bothered by your existence, but they'll give you stuff, so it's okay. But like the character that I play is literally, she looks like an 8-year-old little girl, and she carries around this like blunderbuss that's like 8 times her size, and it's just hilarious. Like I suggest anybody that has an hour to download something, just download it and try it because it's really fun.
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
What server are we on? Elena server?
Yeah, Elena.
Like starts with an E. I don't know, but yeah.
And it's an MMO, but it's placed so that it's not free roaming. You just can't go off to anywhere you want.
It's
the cool thing is, the cool thing is that it's all instance based, but you can jump into dungeons right away with team members, and you can pick your difficulty level. So if you're really a noob, you can go easy, and you still have just as much fun. So it's a good like casual pseudo MMO, and it's free. So download it.
Yeah. It's one of those few MMOs where you get to just own everything right out the gate, so you don't have to like work up to building a bunch of gear or have a spec.
You don't have to worry about anybody's health bar.
Nope.
Like
no,
screw them.
Just face roll, like you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fun, and that's pretty much the end of it. I wouldn't say that the storyline is compelling. I wouldn't say that
I didn't read anything.
Compelling.
Yeah, I don't think anybody read anything.
The artwork is compelling. There's not a whole lot of compelling items in this game, except for the fact that it's just plain old fun.
Yeah, we haven't seen a dragon yet either, so I
It
I
don't
was
have
a
no
know.
idea
dragon
what this
or a
dragon nest is about. Yeah, I just know that we've rolled through like these tiny little monsters, and some of them look like little
like little puppy
stumpy
dogs.
dogs. Yeah, like why are we
Two-legged
killing
dogs.
two-legged dogs? They have it hard enough. Yeah, like
Vampire things.
They have it hard enough. Why can't we adopt them?
So yeah, that's what we've been playing as of late. We've still kind of dabbled in some Planet Side too, but that's kind of been on the back burner, I think. Did you have some more stuff you wanted to talk about, Brad?
Not really. The only thing I've really been playing this week, I've been sick, so I haven't been doing much the last few days. The only thing I've been really getting into is Rocksmith with my new electric
Your
guitar,
guitar,
but
yeah.
I'm not
How's
sure
that
if
going?
that's, I'm not really into it yet, so it's sort of hard to say how it's going.
You're getting
Uh,
ready to get into it.
Yeah, I've only played like an hour or so, so I mean, it's not like I haven't.
So how
delved
bad
in.
are you? Is
Oh,
the
it's
question.
horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I
We're
don't wanna
gonna
listen to me.
we're
Your
gonna
poor
put a
wife.
benchmark.
Thankfully, it's electric, so I just have the headphones, and I don't have to bother people generally, so it's all good.
We'll put a
So,
benchmark out like 6 months from now, and you'll be rocking out, and you'll be playing for us.
Sure, yeah.
It'll be sweet. In other news, I finally hit 60 in Rift.
yeah.
The X-Pack happened in November, and as a lot of you know, it's a game that I couldn't even log out of for the longest time. But I did a plethora of things like move for the entire month of December, which pulled me away from just the internet as a whole. And then, Planet Side happened, and that sucked me in too. But I finally got some solid playtime in at the beginning of this month, and I got knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yay.
So I'm
Nice.
finally done with that grind because it took forever. It was 50 to 60 took twice as long, even without my absence. Even just the XP alone was twice as long as it took me to get from 1 to 50. So, but the X Pack's pretty amazing. I got some cool dungeons and stuff like that. So I got to do all that stuff the last few weekends, which was fun. So
Awesome.
the end.
The end.
The end. Well, I guess that's it for this episode. It's the end. I mean, what can we
See you guys next week.
we can't go past that?
The
We're
end.
done now. So I guess the only other thing that I sort of want to pimp is we have a site now.
Yay.
So
Yes,
go
we
to
do.
gamesammich.com if you want to learn more about whatever the heck this is, or like tell us how awesome we are, or how much we suck, or whatever. Head over there. There's links to all kinds of things.
Yep.
And if you have an idea for our logo that you want to submit, there'll be links to the community page and all that.
We also have a topic
yeah.
suggestion too. So if you guys have something
Yes.
that we've mentioned before and you want us to get into it further next week
Yeah.
or whenever, we can get into what they call the meteor section of it.
Yeah, the more topics you submit, the less work we have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you want us to play any games either,
Yeah.
because
If you guys
'Cause we
know
like
of a good
that,
to
too.
play or something, I mean, we're not all looking to go broke via Steam, but I think that's kind of a platform where a lot of us get our stuff from. And if you have a free-to-play one that you think that we can't live without, yeah, shout out. We'll try it.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, we'll absolutely hit any free to play. I'm sure we'll try to
My
you know,
heart
do
rate.
terribly at that.
And and if you want to play with us, because we're so awesome, you get in contact with Ern or myself, and I'm sure that we'd be more than happy to have you, unless you're an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
But yeah, don't be an asshole.
There's only
You can
room
com-
for just a few assholes, and we got that.
Yeah.
covered.
Right.
We're all
Event
full up
servers
already.
limited
No
to
douches.
4 assholes. So as long as you're
Yeah,
not an asshole, then
chances are we
you
have-
can join.
Yeah, chances are we have a guild somewhere, or at least a small batch of us playing something. I usually try to rally some people into
Yeah,
it. I
and
don't
we're
play
not
anything by myself.
Nazis, so you can play comfortably. We're not gonna grind your ass
I'm not gonna.
on how bad you suck.
We're not gonna yell at
You may
We're not
want us
gonna
to
what?
grind your ass. I only
That's the
grind
topic
certain
of-
people's asses.
That's
No
a
guarantee.
Going to a
different
dark place
podcast.
now.
That's for the second. That's for the 3rd episode. Is where I will talk about
We're gonna mute
grinding
Kevin.
asses. Yes.
Coming up
Yes.
next week, Kevin grinds some asses.
I almost made it through. I almost made it through the episode without messing something up. I'm done. I'm done.
Jeez.
That's
All
a
right,
wrap.
Kevin's
again.
quit, so I guess we're out.
At
See you
least
next week.
At least he didn't
See you
mute
next
us.
week.